Google is a private company, and as such, it can censor whoever they want for any reason. At least that's what people on social media keep repeating at me like an army of malfunctioning Teddy Ruxpins. Yo, bromando, and welcome to just one of the many things online that have been pissing me off lately. To put it lightly, I need to vent, but just tearing assholes a new ass isn't exactly a compelling argument, so let's talk about some stuff that is, shall we? Number 1. Google, being the owner of YouTube, has chosen to demonetize some content because their advertisers demanded they do so. It's not about politics, people, it's simply about the money. Advertisers just don't want their ads appearing alongside videos that some people may find edgy, as that could reflect badly on them and their brand. Or offend one of these weirdos. So naturally, of course, the only action that Google can take is to demonetize this kind of content completely, right?
Wrong.
And as a matter of fact, Google could offer their advertisers an option to easily opt out of having their ads appear before content that's deemed edgy. This really wouldn't be that hard to do, and if they were really putting the interests of their advertisers first, they'd have offered something like it already. Because, not all advertisers want the same thing. People keep using this term advertisers like it's some sort of blanket statement, like everyone who pays for Google to promote their product in some way is just a part of this collective entity who wants the same thing instead of thousands of individual businesses with different products to sell. How pissed would you be if you were a gun company paying for Google ads only to find out they were demonetizing gun channels on YouTube and not telling you about it? Probably pretty pissed. This is of course only one example, but really, where do people get off thinking that every advertiser with Google wants to promote themselves as some sort of overtly politically correct douchebags like these guys? So, I would say it's not really about advertisers, and it's not really about money. So what is it all really about? Well, it certainly couldn't, in no possible way, be about censoring alternative media channels with opinions they don't like. I mean, it's not like Google has a history of firing people with opinions they disagree with. But if this whole thing is really just about ads, why wouldn't they just stop at demonetization? Why not just remove the incentive for people to upload content and leave it at that? You see, for a lot of people, continuing to make videos when they can't make money on ads means spending a whole lot of time without the possibility of any monetary gain in return. And for a lot of people, that's a really big problem. I guess you could always try crowdfunding instead, but oh, hey, lucky for you! YouTube came up with additional ways to stop people from seeing your content anyway, like the unpopular YouTube Heroes program, or the equally unpopular Restricted mode, or the soon-to-be most unpopular Limited state, where content creators can enjoy screaming out into the voids of their own echo chambers where no one else can even comment, like, or share that shit. And not because their videos violate any of YouTube's terms of service, but simply because YouTube doesn't like them. Hey, I wonder if YouTube knew that some channels utilize the crowdfunding option in favor of ads. At least YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki is meeting with content creators like the Young Turks Chunkburger to set our minds at ease and hear our side of the story. At least he's advertiser friendly and doesn't do things like deny the Armenian genocide or at one point take money from the government of Qatar. Oh, but I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if something isn't advertiser friendly or not because Google is a private company and can discriminate against whoever they want. Just like your ISP is a private company, and it's okay for them to censor whoever they want. So I guess what I'm saying then is that what we really need is the government to get involved and make Google a public utility, right? No. Why do some people always assume that more government is the answer to everything? Do you want your search engine to run like the first website for Obamacare? The argument I'm making isn't whether or not Google can censor and discriminate against certain parts of their user base. I'm making the argument on whether or not they should. See, because we're not just talking about some sort of ice cream stand in Kansas that's best known locally for its flavor mad cow disease. No, we're talking about Google, the most widely used search engine in the world, whose entire job is delivering information to people based on the user's intent. And it sort of sends a message to the rest of the world when Google doesn't at least pretend to care about putting their own petty feelings aside in favor of things like freedom of speech. You know, that thing that was so important in keeping America free that they put it first in the Bill of Rights?
No, but actually Google is a global company and they aren't bound by the constraints of the Constitution.
Hey, weed. Google's address is 1600 Amphitheater Parkway, Mountain View, California. They were started as an American company. They are based primarily in America, but somehow are exempt from following the Constitution. You know, the supreme law of the land. But yeah, whatever. They're a private company, so they can do what they want. Like, talk to this jackass about trying to censor people in her country. I don't know about you, but if I was this guy, this is what I'd tell Angela Merkel, word for word. Dearest Chancellor, in regards to your concerns about our need to change the way people in your country experience our service, f*** you. You get nothing. If you want to censor content, you assholes can stop being lazy and do it yourself. Or just ban us. Good luck explaining to Germany why they can't use our service anymore, and see you in the next election cycle, you f***. Yours sincerely. For all the real raging schlong writers out there who want to go beyond the fact that Google can censor people as a private company and actually feel it's morally justified, okay, so what if tomorrow they start discriminating against people because of their race, gender, or sexual orientation? What if they start discriminating against the retarded because their videos are incoherent and don't make sense? You going to sit there and say it's still their right to do so then? Because it's not about it being their right to discriminate. It's about if it's morally right for them to discriminate. Not to mention, is it even smart? I'm not sure, but the last time I checked, declaring war on your customers isn't a good business practice. If you need a second opinion, why don't you try asking Angry Joe? And before some dick sneeze goes off on
oh, but you're just an alt-right troll.
Hey, beta this is already beginning to affect left-leaning alternative news channels too, like these guys. Hey, here's an idea. Since we're talking about supposedly gray areas like morality and censorship and whether or not it's okay to discriminate against people, here's an idea I have. So why don't I make a video where I do nothing but talk about the origins of racial slurs? Actually, better yet, better idea. Why don't I just sit in front of the camera and just name off every racial slur I can think of for, just a little bit of time, let's say like 30 minutes. And then at the end of that 30-minute rant on racial slurs, I'll put some nice copyrighted music. And that way we can see then if YouTube demonetizes that video for not being ad-friendly, or if they just copyright ID claim it and play the ads anyway. But if your brain really is a box of marbles glued to a radiator, and you still think this is just about censoring content that isn't advertiser friendly, may I suggest you check out this video by Razorfist, where he uploads a vid devoid of any controversial opinions, language, and it still gets demonetized within minutes. I'll leave a card at the end of the video so you can check it out, but my point to all of this is, let's see, after that tirade, what condescending analogy can I really use to explain it further to the hipsters at Google headquarters? Oh, got it. You know why you don't want to try censoring people who use your platform, Google? You want to know why? Well, allow me to explain it to you. You have a search engine, and it's the most widely used search engine in the entire world. And I have a decentralized team of users who you have royally pissed off because you censored them and the people they like, see? Now, if they all leave your product while becoming hostile detractors to your brand, then they all leave your product while becoming hostile detractors to your brand. They tear it up. Yep, just like the Death Star, Google, the more censorship you put into place, the more likely you'll be defeated by a handful of teenagers with memes, and you'll have no one to blame but yourselves. And you'll get no sympathy from me. I'm gonna be the old dude laughing my ass off when I hear kids say things like, "Hey, do you remember that company called Google?" And the other kid says, "Nope." Anyways, thanks for watching, Bro Mandos. The link to Razor Fist's video is above, go check it out. I typically make videos on culture and action movies on my channel, so if you want, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications if you're into that sort of thing. And once again, I'm THOMPSONATOR. I'll see you all again soon for more action.